The first shot wasn't fired by humans. It came from above, silent blue light, cutting through the clouds like a knife. Commander Ryker Lang didn't see it until the ground behind him exploded. Dust and fire rose into the sky as screams echoed. Across Outpost 7, Ryker hit the ground, rolled behind a metal barrier, and cursed under his breath. This wasn't supposed to happen. The treaty was clear. Humans and Velari were at peace, but someone had broken that peace, and now the war had begun. Soldiers around him scrambled into position. Return fire cracked through the air. Velari fighters, thin, tall, with glowing skin and bright eyes, moved fast, their weapons humming with alien energy. Ryker stayed calm. He'd seen worse battles on Mars and Jupiter's moons. But this time, something felt different. The Velari didn't seem angry. They looked desperate. He aimed his rifle and took down one attacker, then another. But he wasn't here to fight. He had been sent to meet a Velari ambassador, a female envoy, a diplomat. Now, he wasn't sure if she was alive or if this was all part of a trap. He made his way through the broken outpost, stepping over rubble and shattered drones. His tongue crackled with static. No orders. No answers. Then a soft noise came from behind the supply crates. He spun around, weapon raised. A Velari girl stood there, her glowing blue skin stained with ash, her long orange-red hair falling in waves over her shoulders. Her body trembled, and she didn't hold a weapon. Ryker kept his gun steady. She didn't speak. Velari rarely did with words. They spoke through gestures and skin contact. Their language was based on scent, touch, and energy pulses. Something Earth scientists were still struggling to understand. She stepped forward slowly, her eyes wide, shining. "Stop right there," Ryker said, lowering his weapon just a bit. She took another step. Then, without warning, she leaned forward and licked the side of his face. Ryker froze. His entire body went stiff as her warm tongue brushed his cheek, leaving a strange tingle on his skin. It wasn't disgusting. It wasn't playful. It was confusing. "What the hell are you doing?" he whispered, stunned. The girl's eyes sparkled with a strange emotion, calm, soft, but serious. He stepped back, wiping his face. The girl raised her hand and pointed at his chest. Then she touched her own heart, slowly, intentionally. Then she collapsed. Ryker caught her before she hit the ground. Her skin was hot. She was burning up, breathing fast, heart racing. He looked around. The battle was still going, but distant. Now, smoke rose behind the hills. It gave him a few minutes. He dragged her into a nearby bunker and laid her down gently. "Who are you?" he asked. "Are you the envoy?" She didn't answer with words. She reached up, her fingers weak, and tapped his forehead. A flash. Images poured into his head, Velari memories, emotions, fear, betrayal, and something else. He saw her standing before a Velari commander, arguing. She had tried to stop the attack. She had been labeled a traitor. She had run. And somehow she had found him. "You were trying to warn us," Ryker said softly. She nodded weakly. Then she touched his face again, just above the spot she had licked. Her fingers glowed faintly. Then her hand dropped. Ryker leaned closer. What did that mean? That Lek? She didn't answer. But deep in his chest, something changed. His heartbeat had synced with hers, and in the back of his mind, a voice whispered, not English, not Velari, but something he understood anyway. "You are mine now." "And I am yours." Ryker stumbled back. "Wait, what?" He looked down at her. She had passed out again. He sat in silence for a moment, stunned, and the cum on his wrist lit up. "Finally contact. Commander Lang report. Enemy forces retreating on your side. Are you still alive?" He looked at the girl. Then at the cum. "I'm alive," he said. But something's changed. Status of the Velari envoy? He hesitated. She's here. She surrendered. He didn't mention the lick, or the voice in his head, or the fact that he could now feel her emotions like a warm pulse in his chest. This was no ordinary contact. This was something deeper, and it had only just begun. Ryker paced the small bunker, glancing down at the alien girl resting on a field cot. Her breathing had steadied, but her skin still glowed faintly, a soft blue shimmer that pulsed like a heartbeat. And Ryker could feel it. Not see, feel. Every pulse sent a warm echo through his chest. Ever since she licked him, something inside him was different. It wasn't just weird. It was a link. He reached up and touched the side of his face where she had made contact. Still warm, still tingling. Whatever she had done, it had created a bond one deeper than science could explain. He checked the bunker door again. Still locked. The battle outside had calmed, but Earth forces hadn't given the all-clear yet. He didn't know how long it would be until someone came to find them, and when they did, what would they do with her? She stirred. Ryker moved closer. Eyes opened slowly, bright, glowing violet. She looked at him and something in her gaze softened, as if she recognized him fully now. "You're awake," he said gently. She nodded once, then reached out and placed her fingers on her own chest. "Sii'ren," she whispered. "Is that your name?" He asked. She nodded again. Then, slowly, she pointed to him. "Ryker," he said. Sii'ren smiled faintly. The air around them stayed quiet for a moment. Then she sat up, weak but focused. She touched his arm and sent another small wave of energy through him. It wasn't violent or painful. It was curious, like she was learning him through the bond. He let her. She moved her hand to his face, tracing the spot she'd licked before. Then she pulled her hand back and placed it over her heart again. "What does that mean?" Ryker asked. "Why did you do that?" She hesitated. Then her mind touched his not with words, but with images. He saw two Velari standing on a glowing platform. One touched the other's face, then licked their cheek, followed by a burst of color flowing from both of them. Joy, understanding, connection, a ritual, a choosing. He stepped back slowly. "Wait, that wasn't just a greeting, was it?" Sii'ren looked down, then nodded. "Once, you bonded with me, on purpose." Her fingers pressed gently to her chest again. Then to his. He rubbed his temple, unsure how to feel. "You picked me." She nodded again. Her voice was soft, but this time she used words. "You did not run." Ryker blinked. "You mean, during the fight?" She nodded. "Others ran. You didn't. You saw me. You stayed." He didn't know what to say. He'd acted on instinct. Protecting her had felt right even before he understood why. But now he knew the Velari didn't choose lightly. Their kind didn't form bonds often. When they did, it was for life. He sat beside her, trying to process it. "But what happens now?" he asked. "Earth Command doesn't know what you are to me now. They'll treat you like a prisoner or worse." She tilted her head, confused. "Captive," he explained. "Enemy." She closed her eyes and her body shimmered faintly. He could feel her sadness through the bond, like a cold wind sliding down his spine. "I won't let them hurt you," he said suddenly. Her eyes opened again, locking with his. "I mean it," he said. "You trusted me. I'll protect you." She smiled, then leaned in again closer than before. He stiffened instinctively, but she didn't lick him again. She just rested her forehead against his. Another pulse of energy passed between them, warm, trusting. Then the door behind them hissed. He jumped to his feet, drawing his weapon. The door opened. 3 soldiers entered, guns raised, followed by a man in black armor. "Commander Reeves." "Lang," Reeves shouted. "Stand aside." Ryker didn't move. She's not hostile, sir. She's Velari, Reeves snapped. We've lost 20 men today to their attacks. I'm not interested in your personal feelings. She tried to stop the war, Ryker said firmly. She's the envoy. I have proof. She showed me through their bond ritual. She didn't come to fight. She came to warn us. Reeves gave a hard stare. You were bonded, weren't you? Ryker didn't answer. The girl stepped forward, weak but proud. Her glow increased as she stood beside him. Her hand reached for Ryker's again, this time not to bond, but to stand together. Reeves lowered his weapon slightly. This is a mess. We can use her help, Ryker said. She knows what really started this. If we listen, maybe we can stop it. Reeves looked from Ryker to Sii'ren and back. Then he sighed. You get one chance. If she even breathes. Wrong, she's done. Understood? Ryker nodded. As the team escorted them out of the bunker, Ryker could feel her hand tighten gently in his. This war had only just begun, but so had something else. The shuttle ride to Command Base Alpha was tense. Ryker sat beside Sii'ren, watching her closely. She stayed quiet, her hands folded in her lap, glowing softly. The soldiers across from them stared with unease. No one spoke. Ryker could still feel the bond in his chest, a soft warmth that pulsed with every heartbeat. He knew she felt it too. She didn't show it, but her fingers kept twitching, as if resisting the urge to reach out to him. The base came into view through the front viewport, tall steel towers surrounded by energy shields. Earth's most secure base in this sector. And now it was holding a Velari. As soon as they landed, Ryker and Sii'ren were escorted into a debriefing chamber. Walls were smooth and gray, the lights bright and cold. A single table waited in the center. One chair for him. One for her. Commanders sat behind a glass panel, watching. A voice spoke through a speaker. Commander Ryker Lang, report your findings. Ryker cleared his throat. She is the Velari envoy. Her name is Sii'ren. She didn't attack. She surrendered to me after warning me of the betrayal within her own ranks. Can she speak? Some words, but mostly through images and energy. The glass panel flickered. The lead commander, Admiral Jack, leaned forward. And the bond? Ryker hesitated. It's real. She chose me. It's a Velari ritual. She marked me. And now I can feel what she feels. It's not dangerous. You're compromised, the Admiral said flatly. We can't trust your judgment. Sii'ren suddenly stood. She placed her hand on the table, and the lights flickered. In Ryker's mind, an image formed, shared with everyone in the room. A Velari warship. Inside, a group of alien generals argued. One of them, her brother, Ryker, now realized was demanding war. He had faked signals, tricked the Velari Council. Sii'ren had discovered the truth. She tried to stop it, but they turned on her. She fled to warn the humans. The image faded. The Admiral was silent for a moment. She's telling the truth, Ryker said. This war wasn't agreed upon by all Velari. There's a faction, a military elite. She risked her life to warn us. Convenient, the Admiral replied. But how do we know this isn't just another trick? A way to get inside our defense network? Sii'ren didn't respond. She simply looked at Ryker, her eyes calm. Then, softly, she said a word. Trust. The room went quiet. The Admiral leaned back. You'll remain under observation. Both of you. Take her to holding. Lang, report back after medical screening. No, Ryker said sharply. The guard shifted. Ryker stood up. She's not a prisoner. She came for peace. I'm requesting temporary authority over her status. You're not her handler, Lang. No, Ryker said. I'm her bond. The words hit the room like thunder. Everyone in the room knew what that meant. Velari bonds weren't breakable. And they weren't shallow. They were sacred, permanent. One of the other officers stood. Let him have this. If she breaks trust, it's on him. The Admiral finally nodded. Fine. But one mistake and you both go down together. They left the room, walking down a quiet hallway. The guard stayed a few feet behind. Ryker looked at Sii'ren. Why did you show them the memory? They needed to see. They still don't trust you, but you do. He nodded. They reached a private room small, with one bed and a table. It was better than a cell. She sat down quietly and looked around. Too many lights, he smiled. Yeah, humans like bright things. She looked at him again, tilting her head. You are bright. He chuckled. That's the first time anyone's ever called me that. Your thoughts? They glow, strange, but warm. He sat across from her. You can still feel them? She nodded. Always. You feel mine too? He hesitated, then placed his hand over his chest. I feel something. Then you're learning. Silence passed between them, peaceful now. But outside that room, things were shifting. In orbit, Velari ships were moving again. A message was coming, one not meant for peace. And somewhere inside the human base, someone was watching them both closely. 2 days passed. Sii'ren remained in the private holding room. She rarely spoke, but her presence was calm, respectful. She never tried to escape. She never used her powers to threaten. And yet, many still watched her with fear. Ryker came by each day, sometimes twice. He brought her food, asked questions, and listened to the small answers she gave. Their bond had grown stronger. He no longer needed her to touch him to feel her emotions. He felt them through the air, soft pulses of thought brushing his chest, flowing into his mind like whispers. But now something new had entered her emotions. Worry. He felt it before she said a word. What is it? He asked as he entered the room. Sii'ren stood at the window, looking at the clouds outside. They're coming, she said softly. Who? She turned to him. Glowing eyes darkened. My brother. He knows I'm here. He'll erase me. Ryker stiffened. You said he was powerful, but will he really come into Earth space to take you? Not for me, for silence. She stepped forward and placed a hand over her heart. He fears what I know. What I shared. If I speak more, he loses control. Ryker. Pace the room. You've already warned us. Earth Command saw the memory. That should be enough. Not yet. I have more. A name. A plan. Coordinates. But I need full link to show it. Only in a safe place. Not here. Then tell me. No, not like this. If I share it now, too many minds will touch it. Some not loyal to Earth. Ryker narrowed his eyes. You're saying there's a traitor? She nodded. Yes, someone. Watches from inside. His stomach dropped. The base had dozens of officers, scientists, and soldiers. Who could it be? A loud beep interrupted them. His cum crackled. Lang. Report to Admiral Jekk's command room immediately. Emergency update. He looked at Sii'ren. Stay here. I'll find out what's happening. As he walked out, he felt a final soft pulse behind him. Be careful. He replied silently in his thoughts. Always. The command room was full of noise and lights. Screens flashed red. Map zoomed in and out on high orbit. Ryker entered and stepped beside Admiral Jekk. Report. The Admiral ordered. Ryker looked at the screen. A fleet, Velari ships, 5 of them, holding outside firing range, but clearly not there for a peaceful chat. They're demanding surrender of the envoy, Jekk said. They claim she escaped justice and is influencing human minds. Ryker frowned. That's not an accusation. That's a warning before attack. Jekk nodded. They've given us 8 hours to decide. After that, they move in. We can't. Give her up. Jekk's eyes narrowed. I'm not in the habit of handing over guests, but I also won't start a war over one alien girl. She's more than that. She's your bond. I know. That's why I called you here. She says she has more intel. Can you get it now? No. She needs a clean minefield. No other thoughts pressing in. She says someone's spying on her inside the base. Jack looked at his other officers. We have security on full lockdown. Ryker shook his head. Not enough. If the traitor is psychic, he or she can mask their thoughts. She needs a place shielded from outside minds. Where? Ryker thought fast. There's a sensory isolation pod in Medical Sector C used for deep space pilot recovery. It blocks all mental noise. Jack gave a sharp nod. You have 1 hour. Get what she knows. Ryker ran back in the room. Sii'ren was already standing when he entered. I heard it, she said. They want me dead. You're not dying. I'm taking you to a mind-shielded room. Her eyes searched his. You believe me? I feel. You? I know you're not lying. She stepped forward and pressed her forehead to his. The bond between them pulsed stronger than ever. Then hurry. They moved fast through the base. Ryker kept his hand on his sidearm, watching every guard. They passed. Any one of them could be the traitor. As they reached the isolation pod, the hallway lights flickered. Sii'ren gasped. He's here. Who? My brother's shadow. He left a piece of himself in someone. He's inside the base now. Ryker keyed the pod open. We'll deal with him later. Right now, show me what you need to show. She stepped into the pod, and Ryker followed. The hatch sealed behind them. Darkness and silence. Then light pulsed. Between them, she placed her hand on his forehead again. This time, the memory was clearer, sharper. A Velari transmission. Plans, names. A secret lab where the war had truly begun. Hidden tech. A plan to use human telepaths as weapons. Then a face. Human. A. Base officer. Ryker gasped. The traitor wasn't just watching. He was helping lead the war. The pod opened with a soft hiss. Ryker stepped out first, eyes sharp, heart pounding. Sii'ren followed, her glow dim but focused. What she had shown him could end the war or destroy everything. The face in her memory was clear. Major Tallen. An Asno. Earth officer. Loyal on the surface, respected by command. But behind closed doors, he had been feeding Velari warlords information, hoping to spark conflict between the two species. He wanted war, not peace. Ryker couldn't believe it. He didn't have time to think. He tapped his comm. This is Ryker Lang. I need to speak to Admiral Jack immediately. I have confirmed intelligence. We have a traitor on base. A pause. Then Jack's voice. Meet me in Command Room Alpha. Bring the envoy. Ryker and Sii'ren moved fast, taking back orders to avoid attention. She walked close to him, her hand brushing his once, and he felt her fear. He knows we saw him, she whispered. Ryker nodded. Then we hit him before he hits us. The hallways were quiet. Too quiet. He didn't notice the flicker of light behind them until it was too late. A shot rang out. Metal sparked beside Ryker's head. He grabbed Sii'ren and pushed her into cover. Another shot followed, this time closer. A figure stepped out from a corner. Major Tallen. He held a sleek Velari weapon in his hand, the tip glowing. I was wondering how long it'd take, Tallen said, smiling coldly. I should have guessed. The girl would show you. Ryker stood slowly, shielding Sii'ren with his body. Why, Tallen? Why betray your own people? Tallen shrugged. War brings clarity, order, power. I was tired of humans being soft. The Velari saw strength in me. We had a deal. You sold out Earth. No, Tallen said. I gave Earth purpose. You? You let some glowing alien girl lick your face and now you're ready to throw away everything for her? Sii'ren stepped forward, eyes narrowing. He is stronger than you. You hide behind lies. Talon aimed. Ryker fired first. His shot clipped Talon's shoulder, sending him stumbling. Sii'ren raised her hand and pulsed energy straight into Talon's chest. It wasn't enough to kill, but it dropped him hard. He collapsed, twitching. Ryker rushed forward and kicked the weapon away. Talon hissed through his teeth. It doesn't matter. The fleet's already moving. I told them Earth rejected the envoy. They think she's dead. Ryker turned to Sii'ren. Can you stop them? She looked unsure. Only if they feel me. The bond. If they believe I live and that a human stands with me, they might listen. Then let's make sure. They feel it. They secured Talon in a containment cell and rushed back to Admiral Jack. Jack stared as Ryker laid out everything: Sii'ren's memory, Talon's betrayal, and the incoming attack. The Admiral paced. If they believe she's dead, they'll strike without mercy. We need proof she's alive. She needs to link with their minds, Ryker said. A direct signal from orbit. Let her use the come array. That array is for strategic commands, Jack replied. If we let her inside, she could access everything. Ryker looked straight at him. She won't. I trust her. I felt her thoughts. She wants peace. Sii'ren stepped forward, glowing slightly brighter. Let me speak to my people. If they see me with him, maybe they will stop. Jack hesitated, then finally gave a tight nod. You get one chance. Minutes later, they stood in the command tower. The Earth Velari come. Link was activated. Ryker stood beside her, hand in hers. Their bond flared to life glowing between their skin, heartbeats matching. Sii'ren closed her eyes. Light pulsed through the room. Every Velari mind in orbit felt her presence. Through the link, she showed them what she had seen: Talon's lies. Ryker's kindness, the moment she chose him. She sent emotion, not words. Truth. Trust. And love. The lights dimmed. The signal ended. Jack looked at Ryker. Well? He waited. Then the radar screen changed. The Velari fleet stopped. Ships rotated slowly. A message appeared on the main screen. We hear her. We see you. Stand down. Meeting requested. Jack exhaled. They want to talk. Sii'ren opened her eyes, swaying from exhaustion. Ryker caught her. You did it, he said. No, we did it. But the war wasn't fully over yet. The meeting would decide everything. The meeting was set aboard a neutral vessel floating quietly between the Velari fleet and Earth's defense ships. It was a silver disk, smooth and silent, created long ago for rare peace talks. It hadn't been used in decades. Now, it would decide the future. Ryker stood beside Sii'ren inside the vessel's central chamber. The room was wide, circular, and bathed in soft blue light. Earth officials stood on one side, Velari envoys on the other. Neither side spoke yet. Ryker squeezed Sii'ren's hand gently. Are you ready? He asked. She nodded, though her glow was faint. The long-range mind signal had drained her, and even now he could feel her pulse slowing. She was strong, but not invincible. The lead Velari envoy stepped forward. He was tall, with gold-threaded robes and deep green markings on his cheeks. His eyes locked on Sii'ren. You live, he said through a soft translator. His voice sounded surprised but not unkind. Sii'ren nodded. I live, and I bring truth. She lifted her hand and touched her forehead, then pointed to Ryker, a silent sign of bond. Some Velari behind the envoy whispered quietly. Others lowered their heads. The envoy looked at Ryker. Human, you accepted her bond? Ryker nodded. Without force. I protected her before I even knew what it meant. The envoy took a step closer. That bond makes you one of us, even if your blood does not match. Ryker didn't flinch. Then maybe that's how peace starts. Sii'ren lifted her hand slowly and released a final memory into the chamber visible to all. The truth of her brother's betrayal. Talon's secret communication. The fake signals that led to war. The Velari High Command's manipulation. The room filled with emotion. Some of the Velari closed their eyes, ashamed. The envoy said nothing for a moment. Then finally, he spoke again. Sii'ren, daughter of our council, you were right, and we failed you. He bowed slightly. We ask forgiveness. Ryker turned toward the Earth Commander, Admiral Jack, who stood stone-faced. Jack finally nodded. Earth accepts peace, but only if your fleets leave our orbit immediately. The Velari envoy nodded. Double quotes done, but one demand remains. Everyone turned. Let the bonded remain together. It is sacred. Jack looked at Ryker. You're Earth soldier. If you choose to stay with her, you leave the service. Ryker didn't even pause. I already chose her. Sii'ren's glow pulsed softly. Later, back aboard the Earth base, Ryker helped Sii'ren into the quiet room where this all began. She sat down slowly, exhaustion clear in her body. You gave everything, he whispered. And they still made you ask for peace. I didn't do it for them, she said softly. I did it for you. He sat beside her. I never expected any of this. A war. A bond. An alien girl licking my face, she smiled weakly. I chose you in the moment you didn't run. It was strange, but my heart knew. He leaned back, watching the glow around her flicker. Are you going to be okay? I will rest. The bond will help. He felt it again then, a soft wave of warmth and thought. Her feelings were flowing into him. Not just words, but emotion. Trust. Comfort. A hint of something deeper. I never understood what the lick meant, he said. Not really. She turned her head and looked at him. It means I give you part of myself, forever. He nodded slowly. Then I'm giving mine too. He leaned forward and without hesitation, gently touched his forehead to hers. The bond pulsed stronger than before. They stayed like that for a long time. 2 minds, 2 hearts, from 2 worlds, now beating as one. But even in peace, there was one final thing left undone. Sii'ren's brother, the Velari warlord who started everything. He still lived, still commanded fleets in the dark, still waited. And Ryker knew, as long as that man breathed, their peace would never be safe. 1 week later, the stars above Earth were quiet again. No battles, no fleet in orbit. Only peace, but Ryker knew it wasn't finished yet. Not until Sii'ren's brother, the Velari warlord who started the war, was stopped. His name was Kirith. In Sii'ren's memories, Ryker had seen his face cold, proud, dangerous. He had faked the attack signals, twisted the truth, and planned a full war to gain power within the Velari. Now he was in hiding, deep in the outer systems, guarded by his loyal fleet. No one could reach him, except Sii'ren and Ryker. Together. Their request was simple. 1 ship, fast and small. A stealth model built for infiltration, not war. The Velari Council approved it. Earth Command allowed it. They didn't want revenge, but both sides knew that peace was fragile. If Kirith lived, he could destroy everything again. So Ryker and Sii'ren left the safety of Earth space. Just the 2 of them. Inside the ship, Sii'ren rested in silence, her glow calm but steady. You sure you're strong enough? Ryker asked as he checked the controls. The bond gives me strength. He nodded, trying not to show how nervous he was. This wasn't a mission. It was personal. They arrived at the outer system after 4 days of silent travel, far from patrol zones. Cold space. Empty stars. Only one signal blinked on their radar, a hidden station inside an asteroid field. Got him, Ryker whispered. The ship entered silent mode. No lights, no transmissions. Just slow movement. As they neared the station, Sii'ren pressed her. Fingers to her head. He senses me. You okay? Yes, but he's ready. He'll try to break us apart. Let him try. They landed the ship and moved carefully through the tunnels. The asteroid station was dark and quiet, lit by dim red lights. No guards, no resistance. He's waiting. They entered the central chamber. Kareth stood at the far end, taller than any Velari Ryker had seen. His skin glowed faint green. His eyes were like sharpened glass. He wore no armor, he didn't need it. His mind was a weapon. Little sister, Kareth said, his voice sliding into their minds like poison. Still holding hands with the human? Sii'ren didn't move. You lied, she said. You betrayed your own blood. No, I saved our people from weakness. Humans would have infected us with peace. You're proof of that. Look at you. You gave yourself to him. Ryker stepped forward. She gave herself to truth, to hope. Something you don't understand. Kareth narrowed his eyes. Then? You'll die with her. Energy crackled in the air. Ryker's chest burned. The bond was reacting to Kareth's pressure. Sii'ren gasped, stumbling. Kareth was attacking her mind directly. Ryker grabbed her hand. Let me help. Their bond lit like fire. Sii'ren straightened, eyes glowing bright blue. She pushed back mentally and emotionally. Memories poured out from her. Not just words, but feelings. Ryker's courage. His loyalty. His refusal to leave her behind. His confusion. His acceptance. His love. Kareth flinched. Stop, but it was too late. Sii'ren and Ryker stepped forward together. Their joined minds slammed into Kareth's like a tidal wave. Not with violence, but with truth. He had built his empire on fear. They shattered it with unity. Kareth fell to one knee, gasping. His glow dimmed. His mental hold broke. Sii'ren raised her hand. I don't need to destroy you, she said. I just need to show them who you really are. She activated a memory burst, sending Kareth's thoughts and guilt to the Velari Council. They would judge him. Ryker watched as the warlord collapsed to the floor, defeated not by weapons but by honesty and connection. It was over. Later. Back aboard their ship, Ryker sat in silence, holding Sii'ren's hand. You okay? He asked. Yes. The pain is fading. He smiled. I still remember when you licked my face. I had no idea what that meant. She leaned on his shoulder. It meant I chose you, even before you chose me. He looked at her, heart warm, mind calm. And I choose you again. Every time. The stars outside drifted past. Two worlds had nearly gone to war. But now, because of one alien girl and one human soldier, there was peace. And maybe something even deeper. Together, they had changed the future. Not with fire, but with a bond.